it provides me clients. I don't have to do much more than, in a sense, given at least in the area that I'm in, to do anything much more, spend more money in advertising, or even for that matter, a lawyer referral service as a solo. I'm more than busy with the clients that are coming through. Legal Match provides a diversity of clients and cases, at least so far as I've seen for 3 years now, that I can pick and choose, and then I decide to go with the ones that make most sense to me. One of the things I've found is that you do not let the clients pick you, you pick your clients. I basically rely on Legal Match at this point for my clients. I don't need, to do anything further. The quantity, as I said, the volume and the diversity of clients, it sort of keeps me going for everything. In fact, I can tell you right now that I'm entering into business law. It's a new thing that I'm entering into with Legal Match. And for that, I'm going to be hiring an assistant to deal with the clients and the intake and all of that. So that way, it just provides me what I need as a solo at this point. Very practical, very practical. I needed clients. I wanted to be a solo, and I very much appreciate being a solo. Now, I say that, and I say that being a solo has its trials and tribulations, very much so, okay? But on the whole, if you weigh everything together, I really love being a solo. So what do I do when I try to get clients? Well, I try and get a legal matching sort of platform like Legal Match to try and get clients and sift through the different clients that are presented to me and find the ones that I can most work with in every way, financially, legally, and all of that. So Legal Match was kind of like a godsend to me as a solo, because I was more or less settled at my age not to join a law firm or even a small law firm, just wanted to start on my own. Basically, in a nutshell, the wide variety of clients and the different kinds of problems you got to deal with. Intellectually, it's extremely stimulating. There's never a dull day from all these clients that I see. Now, keep in mind that most of the times, let's say out of maybe 10 to 12 clients or problems presented every single day, at least in housing, I end up probably retaining, out of all of that flow of volume of clients, probably over the course of a month, 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 4 at the most. But at the same time, it gives me that variety and diversity to be able to pick and choose myself as a lawyer. The volume of clients every day that I can see coming through is about 6 or 7 new cases a day. So you can multiply that by 7. I mean, the weekends, I guess, not quite, but let's say approximately 50 cases a week, approximately. Of those cases, the ones that end up, and so there's evidently several steps of choosing clients on that basis. So I end up talking to maybe 20 of those cases, actually on the phone, to get a free consultation. Of those 20, I would end up retaining every week maybe 1 or 2. But that's only because so far I'm a solo and I'm just me. Whereas I think that of all the cases that I've had over the last 3 years, if I could have more manpower to help me out, I would have taken maybe 4 or 5 cases, okay, every week. So it's not that the cases, there are lots of good cases out there. The return on investment is approximately 18 to 19%, approximately 19 to 20%. And remember though, I'm just a new practitioner. I imagine if you're more seasoned, you can get those figures even higher based on what I think to be the kind of clientele that comes through Legal Match. Very disciplined and systematic in how you do intake with clients from the very beginning. Don't waste your time in running after the red herrings. Once you do that, and you sort of get an intake questionnaire or have your paralegal or legal assistant deal with that issue, then you can get that figure, return on investment that I said 18 to 19%, much, much higher, in my opinion. Legal Match has been reaching out to me to sort of just be a willing ear and to listen to my problems. And there are multiple of them in the beginning, at least when I started my practice. So they've been very helpful and very supportive that way. I was kind of surprised, to tell you the truth, because I thought that an organization like that, they provide you the clients, you pay for the service, and then they let you defend for yourself. And that's not the case. So I think that that's been very helpful. The follow-up by my support, my manager in Legal Match has been extremely valuable, and she checks out with me once a month or so, and that's my account manager. I just blow her ears open. Kendra, Smith, she's great. When she calls me, she just listens. Sometimes I need that to just blow off steam. She's very helpful that way. She just listens and gives me advice. She's not in the legal field. She doesn't know all the aspects about ethics and sort of the California code about how lawyers should operate in certain very dicey situations. But she listens and she gives me what she thinks to be her advice, and that she's been great. First thing to do, given the volume of clients, get an intake formula or questionnaire right off the bat. Be very, very disciplined about your intake questionnaire, because you'll be getting a lot of clients. You'll be getting calls, maybe 4 or 5 a day. If you're solo, like me, unless if you have a legal assistant, then they can take care of that. Next step, make sure that your clients provide you immediately, as soon as they can, with their busy lives, the elements for you to figure out whether this case is worth it. In other words, what I'm saying is, do not lead on clients. Try and stop very quickly those clients that you feel you cannot help, either because they don't have the money or because their case isn't worth it, or try and be extremely honest to clients, right, very, very quickly. Once you've done that, then you retain the clients for whom you really can help them. It's a much more productive and much more satisfying journey after that. That's what I would say immediately. The first way to deal with these issues is to do an extremely dramatic and drastic sort of look over the different clients, and within maybe a day or two, decide what you can do and what you cannot do. And be honest with clients right up and do not lead them on. I haven't had experience with others, so I can't really say. This has been the one that I've been with since I started my practice. So I can't have a comparative view of everything else. What I do know is that compared to, let's say, a regular lawyer referral service, where I guess that might work if you happen to have a lot of experience under your belt. But in this case, it allowed me to kickstart my practice. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to make sure what your limits are. So I would say to attorneys that look at this as a kind of field that you can just look at to see what you can do with it. And you've got to be careful in terms of the clients you pick. But of those clients, you've got to be devoted to those clients that you do pick, and you get those on Legal Match. And I would say those are the clients, probably 80 to 85% of the clients on Legal Match are of that category. So given the volume of clients that you can get, you've got to know yourself and what kind of law you want to do. You've got to know yourself and how far you want to push something. So for give you an example, in the beginning, I got into litigation very quickly. Now, and then I realized quite quickly that I wouldn't mind doing litigation, but I'm not a natural born litigator. What I prefer is transactional law, and Legal Match provides you that possibility. But my caveat to attorneys is, first of all, know yourself, know what you want to do, know how far you want to go. And then after that, look on Legal Match as an opportunity to advance your career goals in the process of helping people concretely and doing that ethically.